This NFL Week 12 recap and Monday Night Football prop bets edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN and score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet is the new social sports book available in 45 states. Download the Rebet app and use the code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Ooh, welcome everybody to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I am not Sean stacking the money green. He's on vacation. Thought it'd be good to take a holiday mid-season, week 12. No, too good for the recap show. Said no Discord line. I'm busy watching the Eagles play in that beautiful, beautiful open air stadium called SoFi Stadium. So you just got me. And I thought, hey, instead of me just talking to you about how the Giants suck, why not bring in a fellow sad Giant fan right now? Although Terrell was ahead of the curve. The villain himself. I assume Terrell will be here to talk some sense into me, as I would say completely out on the entire situation. I have no ties to anything at this point. Drew Phillips, he can stay on the team. Dexter Lawrence, he can stay on the team. Andrew Thomas, he's still here. Anyway, joining me from the NBA Gambling Podcast and a bunch of other podcasts on the network, the villain himself, really Rel, Terrell. How we feeling? Hold on, I gotta bring you on. How we feeling?
Man.
What's up, Terrell? We lose Terrell? Terrell, we might have lost you.
What? No. I'm
there
here. I'm here. Yeah.
We had a connection issue. Thanks to I would say this. We're fortunate they don't give out the plastic bags anymore. Otherwise, there might be some people suffocating themselves.
Yeah.
So what you were ahead of the curve. We're gonna get ahead. We're gonna just get ahead of it. And by the way, Sean will be joining us to recap the big day for Saquon, Jalen Hurts, and the Eagles. We'll get through the recap. We will. We got Monday night props. Don't worry, Sean submitted some props in case you were worried. But we have to lead off with this. Do the Giants? They won't fire anyone in the short week, but they have to fire everyone now, right?
Yes, everybody has to go. This is ridiculous. I can't do this thing. It's hot. You know, the bag. It was a great idea, poorly executed. I didn't get the eye sockets right, but I don't know how those guys at the game have them perfectly socketed to their eyes, but I definitely didn't get that right. Nonetheless, there's no way anybody can stay. Like, everybody has to go. This team is quit. This is horrible. This is horrible.
What do you take of basically all the team leaders saying the performance was ass?
I think that it's just proof that he's lost the locker room. It's honestly proof that we lost the locker room, and they know it. They see it. They're like, guys aren't even playing anymore. Like, they're not even trying. And you could see it on the Baker Mayfield touchdown. You could see it multiple times. Like, they just weren't tackling. They weren't even trying to pursue. Everybody's out for themselves. And the Giants made a business decision doing all of this, and the players took it into their hands and said, yeah, no, this isn't how things are supposed to go. I don't know how do you not fire them on this short week? I mean, I know it's a short week, but how do you get away with getting to keep your job after that performance?
It does seem like maybe they've lost the locker room. And speaking of getting away, how does Baker Mayfield get away with the blatant racism Ben claims it's a tribute to Tommy DeVito. Good guy. I mean, I feel like this. I feel like there were a number of people in on the take, but yeah, I don't know what you do now. No idea what you do from here on out.
You have
Hopefully
to fire.
the Jags
You have to
don't
fire
win any
Joe
games.
Shane. You have to fire Joe Shane. You have to fire Daves. You cannot let them decide the future of this team. You're going to have a top draft pick. You're going to have what, 60 to $65 million in cap, something like that. You cannot let these two do this for another year. Absolutely not.
Yeah, as Nagels has said, once the virus has been cleansed, aka Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, remove the virus from the head. And at the time, the head was Gettleman. Now the head is Joe Shane. The Hard Knocks couldn't have been more foreshadowing in terms of Mara being like, "Yay! Hopefully this doesn't come back to bite us in the ass." It's come back, even if it hasn't come back to bite you in the ass. The aesthetics are horrible. And next week is going to be hopefully John Mara is at the game next week, so we can get dueling shots of owners just looking fucking miserable.
If they lose to the Cowboys, he's gone. They're gone. They are gone.
Yeah. It very much feels a lot like the end of Joe Judge. Goes from being not so bad to bad really quickly. Anyway,
the only thing that saves them to the end of the season is beating the Cowboys. Because they haven't been able to beat the Cowboys. And this is the perfect time we're going to talk about the game, but this is going to be the perfect time to catch the Cowboys in a letdown spot. If they beat them, that possibly buys them to the end of the season. But once you lose to the Cowboys, and they're probably going to lose, they have to be gone immediately.
Yeah. But bringing it back to the Tommy DeVito thing, it is hilarious. It started from the pregame shows all the way up through the game. If Tommy DeVito is any other
he
culture,
got a standing ovation.
Nationality, rate, like the thing is ridiculous. And I will forever that Baker Mayfield celebrating with his aggressive Italian hands. Hopefully someone can put two dicks where his hands were, so it just looks like he's skiing. But no, if that's any other type of person, we're talking about. It literally says "end racism" in the end zone. It's just not all.
How disrespectful!
Not
completely disrespectful.
Anyway, all right. Enough us being sad. So Giants is the only game, or the Cowboys game is the only game we bet on them from here on out, right?
Yeah, that's
okay.
It. Like that. That's if there's no way you lose this spot. How do you? And it's Thanksgiving. The Cowboys don't win on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but a lot of quit going through the locker room. All right, let's rattle through the games. Thursday night. I will say I have to personally remind myself that when we do the team previews in the off season, I always chop up the division games. And then when we get to the games in real life, I find myself getting tickled. Pittsburgh did not cover as a 3.5 point favorite. They did not win the game. And Jameis played the greatest hero ball I've ever seen. Will Jameis be a New York Giant in 2025? Hopefully.
If we were only so blessed.
Any takeaways from this? A lot of people talking about how Pittsburgh may not win another game rest of the year. Any takeaways from this one?
No, I should have been on the Browns. It's kind of a flow chart, and the Steelers always just kind of nerf it up. The Browns always really give them a game. And the weather was just crazy. They named it. They named that game. That game has its own name now.
Well, they're the Browns. They have to hold on to. And also just the way if I could have seen Jameis pregame reacting to snow, I wouldn't have bet against Jameis in snow. I played the lazy Southern boy take, and it didn't work. Didn't work at all.
Yeah, whenever Tomlin is a favorite, you just have to fade the Steelers. You only back them as a dog. Like we have to stop backing Tomlin as a favorite. No matter how good it looks, no matter how much we're drinking the Tomlin Kool-Aid, we have to fade him as a favorite, only as a dog.
Yeah, big game for the Tomlin is not a good coach crowd. All right, hopping along to Sunday, the Detroit Lions once again, they do not have a brake pedal this year. Even with all the money on them, even with the Thanksgiving look ahead spot, they head to Indy and they take care of business. 24-6. get the cover as a 7.5, 7-point favorite. Colts, I would say settling on the first 2 drives for field goals was pretty much the game here. Anthony Richardson, it's just comical. Every throw, it's like you built the guy in Madden. You gave him a 99 arm strength, and you gave him 99 broken tackle and like 85, 90 speed, and then you just won everything else. Every throw is electric. You don't know if it's going to be an interception, going to be the greatest throw you've ever seen, going to just be a 5-yard pass with enough velocity to get 60 yards. I mean, I don't know what to think about Anthony Richardson other than it doesn't seem like he actually knows how to play football. He's just a great prospect. Meanwhile, Lions, best team in the NFC, maybe the best team in the NFL. Terrell, what are you thinking?
I mean, Anthony Richardson is just fun to watch at this point. It's just, I'm if we had a little bit more football IQ, we could be getting Jameis at 30-30 like that. 100% could be Anthony Richardson in the future. 100%, where he's just chucking it down the field, 30 touchdowns, a whole bunch of interceptions. I don't know how I keep falling into the trap, man. How did this Colts team cover so many games up to this point?
I mean, I guess you would maybe point to good play calling, but it's odd. Even in this game, they went away from the run game. The run game was successful. I wonder what this team would look like if it was only just. What if Anthony Richardson threw 8 passes a game and they just ran some form of a veer or triple option?
An army triple option, something like that. Hey, Kobe's calling for it. If you ran the triple option in NFL, you win games. People aren't ready for it.
The Colts have weapons too. I mean, this is one of those scenarios, like so many teams, probably a quarterback away. Colts probably not completely cooked in the playoff race, but that might have been the end of the road for them. Meanwhile, are the Lions the 1 seed?
Yeah. How can you say not? They look great. Like they constantly look great. And even in the games they look bad and your quarterback throws 5 interceptions, they still find a way to win the game. I just don't know. We got cute fading the Lions here.
Lions next. Lions close out final 6, hosting the Bears, then the Packers, then the Bills, then road Bears. That's the only other outdoor game of the game. Outdoor against the Bears, then outdoor against the Niners, who are quickly sliding, and then the Vikings at home. So certainly got some division games, but a lot of winnable games on the slate. And as someone who's holding a Lions Chiefs division mega parlay, still feeling all right, but I need the Vikings to go away already. All right, next up we got the Chiefs, Panthers. It seemed like this might be a sleepy spot for the Chiefs. They came out looking all right, but back-to-back road spot. Look ahead to Black Friday. Just an overall letdown spot here in Carolina. Unable to cover the 11 points. Almost lost outright.
Yeah.
So some of us were suggesting that they're live here. Bryce Young played probably the best game of his career coming off the bye here. So I guess the 3 or 4 Panther fans are feeling all right. No concerns for the Chiefs though, right? This was just to get out of town with a win.
Yeah, no, we knew this was going to happen. We knew it was going to be a single possession game, and Patrick Mahomes was going to do something at the end and help them win. And I mean, kudos for the Panthers for just not. They went down double digits early, and they didn't just go away at all. And I think that Canales had, for once, a great offensive game plan in this one. And yeah, the Panthers might move on from Bryce Young, but Bryce Young might not be cooked. I think he's somebody that might be good somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of the throws he was getting away or make good throws. He was just kind of praying. I swear he couldn't see his receiver on it.
The legged catch was definitely a prayer.
It just seemed like, I mean, I guess you would, the positive is good anticipation throws. They're still somehow alive in the playoff. Although dark horse, they do have the Bucks next week. We'll see. But hey, you know what? Again, Panthers. The fans were going to have a holdout. They were unhappy with ownership since the ownership has drafted a running back in the first round, given another running back a bunch of money, and they still don't have their franchise quarterback. So we'll see how this one cooks. And as we found out, maybe there's something to the idea that when Taylor Swift doesn't go to the games, the Chiefs don't get up. I believe she was not in attendance for this one. All right, next up we got the NFC North battle between the Bears and the Vikings. Seems like the chat would love it if we could play some smooth jazz music. Perhaps I think it's a compliment to be called a smooth jazz DJ or a late night radio host, but it means my voice is arousing them, Terrell. That's
very
really
much
what they're
so.
saying.
You're putting everybody in the mood. You set the tone. You got
go
the
get
DJ.
your wives. I'll start. Just let them listen to me talk about this Vikings Bears game as Caleb Williams and the
smooth
Bears
R&B
came back. They were dead, then they weren't dead. Vikings, even though they were on the back-to-back road spot, and even though Darnold, they seem to not be able to convert all their drives, but they make enough big plays. And another one, they got it done in the end. Vikings are sneakily like a lock to make the playoffs now, I think.
Yeah.
Are we going to see Sam Darnold on the road opening weekend of the playoffs, Terrell?
Yeah, you probably are, and it's going to be horrible. I think this team is just bad, man. Like, I don't know how this team won 9 games. They did everything possible to lose this game. Everything possible that they could have done to let the Bears in this game. And I mean, thankfully, we got 3.5 on the Bears. And a lot of people a lot closer to game time only caught 3, so they pushed and got out of there alive. But there was everything possibly wrong. And Caleb Williams, I mean, at what point do we have a discussion about Caleb Williams? And
he's looked better with the new coach, with Thomas Brown calling plays. I'll say that.
He took advantage of the matchup. I was all over Caleb Williams over on the passing yards today. So he took advantage of the matchup, but you just can't take that sack on 2nd and 9, man. You can't take that sack. He had all day to get rid of the football. It's not there. Give up on the play.
Yeah, it's the same problem he had at USC, and maybe it's something he matures out of. I certainly think he made some throws in that game when the game was on the line where you're like, all right, that's why you're the number 1 overall pick. So yeah, I still think he's going to be fine. I think when they get a proper play caller in their proper offense, I mean, the Shane Waldron thing was so obviously going to fail. It failed. Yeah. It's now getting better quickly, or it appears to be getting better quickly. So as someone who likes to hate the Bears and make fun of their fans, I'm in a better place with Caleb Williams than I am with some of these other guys. So call me a hater, but, and again, nice cover for the Bears, even though
amazing.
Probably not the right side. All right. Next up, Washington, the Commander football team, Redskins.
What was this game?
What an absolute perform. What a dud. You let the Cowboys come into your place with absolutely no chance.
Oh, Survivor. Oh my gosh.
They handle you. Yeah. I mean, we talked about this on the pregame, but man, between the guy and the Circus Survivor who didn't pick, it was a implied value of 150K.
Jesus Christ.
Just didn't get a pick, or there's going to be a lawsuit with a proxy. But yeah, and then 33 of the remaining folks were on the Commanders. So yeah, tough spot. Got exciting at the end. No idea how Terry McLaurin was able to take that like half field Hail Mary to the house.
I don't know how half of the things at the end of the game happened. How did Turpin get the ball from the 1 and end up taking it to the house?
That looked like one of those old, like 10, 15 year ago Madden glitches where you run to one side, hit the spin button, and then go back the other way.
And the guy just appears on the other side. He didn't even spin. He just appeared on the other side, and you're taking off down the sideline. It was crazy.
I mean, we had been hypothesizing on the show that the Commanders could be fraudulent, could be on the way down, or maybe potentially starting to slide down. Losing both their running backs was not good for them, as it seems like very reliant on the running backs in the Cliff Kingsbury offense. But what was really stood out to me as a red flag was when Kingsbury was asked about, hey, have you done any self scouting? Your offenses tend to not do as well as the season goes on. He looked dead serious back at the reporter and said that's not on my radar. So perhaps we could see another year where the Kingsbury offense just doesn't work as well. I would say it was like the success of the offense was all the running, whether it was the running backs or Jaden Daniels. That being said, Jaden Daniels still looks good, still looks like a dude. But yeah, you can't lose this game. Can they recover?
Man, I mean, I think they'll recover enough where they'll probably still find themselves in the playoffs. But this is a horrible 3-game stretch to lose, I think. And luckily, you catch Will Levis off a win next week.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing that you have going for you at home. This is a chance to really, really flex your muscles. But you get Will Levis off a win is incredible.
But then after that, they have the Saints, who will be, who still believe they're in the playoff hunt. Then the Eagles, who probably could, put the nail in the division.
Yeah.
And then a Falcons team who's currently leading their division. So they definitely have an uphill battle from here. Probably competing with like the second team in the West, maybe for that last playoff spot there. But yeah, really disappointing performance. Commanders also, if you listen to the VSiN show, Commanders blew up our pleaser. Very, very disappointing performance. I mean, good God, rewarding Cowboys money line backers with a plus 440 ticket. What are we doing? Game number 5 in the early slate. Our Giants against the Tampa Bay Bucks. We discussed it a little bit. Not a good showing for Tommy Cutlets. Tommy Gabagool, Tommy, whatever racist thing you want to say about Italian American. People speak about Italian Americans like the mafia doesn't exist. It's very strange. 30-7, a lot of quit. Dexter Lawrence said the performance was, I believe, ass or soft as fuck, I believe was his direct quote. Brian Burns was the one that said it was ass. Malik Neighbors says it ain't the quarterback's problem. I wonder who he's talking about.
Whoa. He told him, go ask Dave's.
It's tough right now. But it certainly suggests like there's a disconnect. Meanwhile, the Bucks playing for the division. You think if you had to put a bet, do the Bucks make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Falcons team is so fraudulent. I don't think they're good.
I want to see Baker, and I mean Baker needs to be in Super Wild Card weekend.
Yeah.
They have the Panthers, the Raiders, the next 2, and then Chargers, Cowboys, Panthers, Saints. I mean, they can easily pick up 4 wins closing out the season. So I don't think they're dead. Would love to see Baker in the I do have a Baker to win the division ticket, Bucks to win the division ticket. So Dolphins, Patriots. Dolphins got it done as 7.5 point favorites. This came down to 7. Pretty easy in hindsight. I'm sure a lot of people loaded this up in their teasers. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Drake May is still fun to watch. In some ways, it reminds me of Josh Allen. Every great throw he makes is rolling out and just throwing an absolute dime that you're not sure if it's going to be a great throw or an interception until it gets there. And yeah, Tua. I mean, once again, Tua in fine weather against a bad team, in a situation where it seemed like the New England game plan on defense was quite silly, trying to man up on Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle all day and Achane. So yeah, I mean, Dolphins get it done in a very easy, predictable spot. Now they have to go into cold weather in Lambeau next week to take on the Packers. Seems like an obvious fade, but how are we feeling about the Dolphins coming out of this one?
Yeah, I think they just kind of handled business, went in there, beat up a bad team. It was really, I feel like the Patriots kind of got it together in that second half. The Dolphins really kind of took their foot off the gas at that point. But in the beginning of the game, just going up with 3 straight touchdowns and 3 straight drives, like making it look really, really easy. 24-0 at halftime. I mean, is Gerard Mayo going to make it through the year?
Kind of think so. I think I think you had to have some level of understanding that this team wasn't necessarily going to compete this year. Drake May looks fine. I think there's the team has had moments of showing competitiveness. They responded to him. Mayo called the whole team out for being soft, and they responded in a positive way. So yeah, I would say his seat's probably safe for next year. Although, Belichick saying he wants to get back into coaching. So I do wonder where he ends up. But yeah, no, Mayo I think is safe for next year. Last in the early window, the Tennessee Titans. Will Levis had never won or covered in the division. The Houston Texans completely owned the Titans on the flow chart, and yet they failed to cover or win straight up as 7.5 point favorites. This probably blew up most people's teasers. I know this blew up the Man in the Box's Survivor entry, unfortunately.
Oh man.
Mixon still looks like he's playing hard, but I mean, when we look back to that moment where Caleb Williams said, "CJ Stroud, get out of my ear. I don't want to hear what you got to say." Looking pretty silly now because CJ Stroud, I don't know. Were we too quick to anoint this guy as the next dude?
It's the offensive line, man.
Whew.
He's given up. He doesn't trust them at all. Every single bad decision either roots from him having too many people in his face or him getting scared that he's going to have too many people in his face and rushing a throw or making a bad decision. Like he just decided that, hey, I'm going to redshirt this rookie year QB thing. And I want to jump ahead and look like a veteran QB, and then I'm going to push that rookie year off to year 2 because now he's making a lot of rookie mistakes. And yeah, man, it's really, really unfortunate the Texans lost this one.
I keep telling myself this is the same offensive system that made Jimmy Garoppolo look good. Yeah. I mean, I would say this: the CJ Stroud versus Bryce Young conversation is closer than it's ever been. It's closer than it's ever.
It's scorching hot right now.
Well, I mean, it's not that Bryce Young's been playing, although Bryce Young did just have a great game. CJ Stroud looking absolutely rough. Yeah, and Terrell, worth noting, I believe. Yeah, I mean this Texan team is below 500 against the spread. They've been very underwhelming. I wonder. I mean, it's a division that no one wants to win, but I wonder if we don't need to circle this Texans team as a team we're going to be fading in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like if they can't do anything and just give CJ any confidence behind the offensive line that they're going to be able to hold up, the couple of splash plays that he gives you a game just aren't enough. It's not enough in the playoffs. Like you got to be able to make those plays consistently, especially at the end of the game. And it just felt like that they had a lot of chances. Like they were playing around with this Titans team. They had a lot of chances, and the defense was really the question at home to give up all these explosive plays.
So bad.
I don't understand it. I thought the defense was a lot better than that.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. But special shout out to Joe Mixon for hitting the receiving prop, just like he did a couple weeks ago. And real quick, we're going to take a second to talk about my bookie. Great transition here, because had you listened to the recap show and the Monday Night Prop show last week, you would have heard me give out a banger with Joe Mixon. Little same game parlay that, built it over at the MyBookie prop builder, paid a cool 112-1. Did not go back to the well this week with the counter correlation. Mixon did get 5 catches, so it would not have paid off, but you can head over to mybookie.ag, use that code SGPN. And by the way, for those who have asked, a couple people DM'd, now that we're back with MyBookie, will the Sims be coming back? Stay tuned. Perhaps an off-season project. I have whipped up the Telegram channel, so we can absolutely get back into it. But yeah, head over to mybookie.ag. Use the code SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Terrell, we're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet is a brand new social sports book available in 45 states, probably available in the state you're listening to this right now in. Tons of betting opportunities available. Download Rebet in the App Store. Use the promo code SGPN for another 100% deposit match up to $100. That's Rebet. Promo code SGPN, again, 100% deposit match up to $100. That sounds like $100 free. So once again, check out Rebet, promo code SGPN. All right, moving along to the late window, Terrell. It was I got to be honest, these games, there's some disappointment in these games. Denver Raiders, we'll start with that one. Sean and I were out in Vegas for the VSiN show. We didn't see a Broncos fan in sight.
Oh my gosh.
Cut to the game. There were actually a lot of Raiders fans in the building. Thought that piece of my handicap might've been right. Even though the Raiders have that big Chiefs game on deck for Black Friday. Hey, it's a divisional game, and you've owned the Broncos over the past decade, basically, in your building. Broncos, in fact, have never won in Las Vegas until today, and they covered as 6-point home or road favorites. Felt a little fortunate in the end as the Raiders were controlling this game, just like they did the first matchup for the Broncos, and then a bad interception turned the tides.
Yep.
This Denver Broncos team. I mean, say what you. Sean's not here to take all of Bo Nix's 5.5 inches down the gullet, but say what you will about Bo Nix. This Broncos team is playing ball. They're not making mistakes. And well, I'll quote Justin Decker here, so I'm not the hater. Bo Nix does not have a strong arm. Bo Nix is not fast, but Bo Nix knows how to play football and operate that offense well. So, I mean, they're a playoff team, Terrell, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and we knew this. We knew that Sean Payton, when he had his guy, he was going to get this team rallied behind his guy. And he doesn't put his guy in too many bad situations at all. And the defense came through that. This looked like Raiders potentially money line was going to come through, kind of that ugly game. Interception turns the tide. Gardner Minshew goes down. We get the ghost of Desmond Ridder out there, and it's just like the Raiders had no heart after that.
I had a money line parlay on the Panthers and the Raiders. No one feels bad for me, but it was a fun. A two-way exciting sweat. Neither came home. Yeah, sad times. But yeah, I think is Antonio Pierce coming back with the Raiders next year?
That's an amazing question.
He can't, right?
I mean, if you buy into the locker room still will play harder for him and you just got to get better players, then kind of, sort of. But I mean, some of the decisions are questionable. It's clear that he's had issues with the players and having to trade Devontae Adams. So it's like you get Devontae Adams and then you trade him away. I don't know, man. It's a lot of question marks around. I don't know how they just don't clean house with everybody.
There does seem like a Patriot wave coming in with Tom Brady, the minority owner. Although I keep in my head, expecting to see Daniel Jones as a Raider next year. That would be my dark prediction. All right, my Cardinals. Wow, talk about a double sad day for me. First, Tommy DeVito and the Giants, and Italian Americans everywhere, and now Arizona. They outgained Seattle, but they lose the game. It was a pick 'em 16-6. I don't even feel like it was that unlucky, but man, that interception Kyler threw, the pick six, that had to be the difference.
It just seemed like every time they looked like they were going to get a little bit of life, it just slapped them across the face and pushed them back down. I mean, this game annoyed me because now it puts the Seahawks kind of in the front of the division. And I know this Seahawks team isn't that good. Geno had a horrible interception, and that's where I thought, okay, this might be in it for us. Like we might have a chance here.
The Geno interception prop, I still can't believe they priced it where they did. With Geno, sitting atop the lead of the interception market, it's wild to me that we're talking about a Seattle Seahawks team that is sitting atop the division. They're just not that good. If you look at the division odds right now, Cardinals still favored to win, or now favored to win the division at +155. Seahawks +175. Rams +450, and the Niners are now the long shot in the division at 6-1. This is one of the more remarkable things. Niners were one of the chalk smash -200 division plays before the year. I mean, if you're, what do you do here if you're the San Francisco 49ers? I mean, Allen wasn't the answer. Maybe we get the Pastronaut next week?
I mean, it's either that or Daniel Jones is going to walk in the building and be electric.
There are rumors. There are reports that he, making a trip out. I don't know what to think. If you're handicapping this division, who are you betting on?
Oh man, something wants to tell me the Cardinals are going to figure it out, man. Something wants to tell me they're going to figure it out, but this is just horrible. That was a horrible showing, and not just me. You had so many opportunities and you came away with nothing, just nothing. I think that the fact that one of these teams is going to have a home game in the playoffs is insane.
Well, and the Cardinals are on the road against the Vikings next week in Minnesota. Massive game. Looks like that number's sitting at 3.5 right now. So, yeah, unfortunately, I'll probably be on the Cardinals again.
Yeah.
But boy, it feels like we're getting close to that must-win territory. And speaking of the NFC West, the other team that we were just mentioning, the Niners. On the pregame show, we were discussing a market around biggest margin of victory on the day.
Yeah.
And there was some discussion about some of the bigger spreads. And I said, what's the number on the Packers Niners game? That certainly feels like it could turn into a ball. And it did. The Packers got it done, winning 38-10, covering as a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever number you played, you covered with the Packers. I like this before Purdy was out. Once Purdy went out, it was clear. There was a little bit in that game where Jordan Love was trying to throw some interceptions. He did get bailed out by a penalty. First clean game for him. No surprise that it happened in the same week that I locked up the Packers. Probably more of a fade of the Niners than a bet on the Packers, but we do have to address the situation. Packers will be in the playoffs almost certainly.
Yeah.
Are they going to have I mean, I'm dreading this, but are they going to be a team we're looking to play as a dog on the road in the first round of the playoffs?
No, because they're probably going to be favored against one of these NFC West teams.
Yeah, you're right. So if all right, Packers on the road against the Falcons or the Bucks. I mean, damn, I'm going to have to play the Packers.
They're almost shooting to win. To win. I mean, maybe
it's the second round of the playoffs that Jordan Love completely collapses. I think.
Yeah.
And like I said, Packers do have this really, really nice spot on deck hosting Tua. I almost certainly think we're going to get to see wetsuit Tua, as it will be very cold. And
I have to pose you the question.
What's up?
What if, because you understand this ride with Jordan Love, it's an up and down roller coaster. As much as you don't want to admit it, it's an up and down roller coaster. Now you catch the lows and you hammer them and you're really, really good, but there are highs. He's at a high right now.
Yeah, but I'm still laying the 3 points next week against the Dolphins at home. So maybe we'll be talking about fading the Packers in the future. Unfortunately, as an objective sports handicapper, I sometimes have to bet on things I hate.
Yeah, no.
Sunday night, we didn't really talk about it, but the Eagles rolled the Rams. There were moments where it looked like it might get interesting. In the end, the ground game for the Eagles too much. Covered as 3-point favorites, 37-20. Rams still very much alive for the playoffs. I don't know. Any thoughts on this one other than just the offensive line for the Eagles just dominated. Honestly, the line of scrimmage was mostly dominated by the Eagles. Rams defensive line had some impressive moments. Certainly super impressive considering most of that line is a first or second year guy.
I just think that, for whoever it was, I think it was CBS Sports or whoever was putting out earlier this morning about how Dable and Joe Shane's jobs were safe. You look at the person you paid and look at the person you didn't pay. Look at the people you didn't pay. McKinney.
Okay, yeah, McKinney had a nice day today.
You didn't. Hey, Julian Love too. Julian Love had a pretty good day too. Look at all the guys you didn't pay.
That one's a bit of a reach, but yeah, I mean it's one of these things, right? We got rid of all these Gettleman guys, and they're playing well elsewhere. So who's the asshole?
Saquon Barkley had a day. It felt like Saquon Barkley, anytime the Rams felt like they were going to get any type of momentum or even maybe make us look like, oh, we could get this in the back door, Saquon Barkley just took their hearts out. And how is he not win NFL MVP? Like who of these quarterbacks is more impressive than Saquon Barkley right now?
I mean, I certainly I think he's pretty much like, to me, it's him or Derrick Henry for offensive player of the year, probably. Barkley with the lead now. I think for the MVP, you gotta like Josh Allen to me stands out. I could, you could start arguing a little. Same with Lamar. He's having an unbelievable year. The win loss probably going to hurt him a little bit. We were debating Justin Herbert, but you got to put Jared Goff in the conversation too. I think the problem is doesn't Jalen Hurts and Saquon both existing hurt? This is the classic like two guys on the same team for the Heisman.
It doesn't seem like it.
What do you mean?
It doesn't seem like it. Does I feel like Saquon Barkley's carrying them.
I agree, but that's just not the way they vote. Jalen Hurts has enough touchdowns and will have enough stats where he would be the more likely MVP, and they'll just give Barkley the offensive player of the year. That's just what they do now. What a day for running backs. If we think back to that running back conference call from a couple of years ago, Barkley is able to pull off an MVP. It just seems so unlike. I wonder I'll pull up the odds right now. Actually, wow. Okay. So Barkley's down to plus 650. Hurts is 40-1. So take what I said and throw it in a blender. That's crazy.
I don't know. He's
crazy,
carrying the team every single time. Like there's so many times, and I swear, like I want to be right. I want to be right about the Eagles being frauds. I really, really do. But every single time there's a bad play on the offensive side, or they start to get stagnant, they can't start to move the football. Saquon Barkley just pops off a great run or has this amazing catch behind the line of scrimmage, still gets yards, and he gives them life again.
He certainly has been the difference between them being a mediocre team and them being a really good team this year. Here's a fun. Let's see. Let me make sure Sean hasn't called. I don't want him to hear this, but fun fact, we actually made a bet when Saquon Barkley was drafted, we made the bet on the air. We haven't really talked about it much since. So I think there's a good chance Sean has completely forgotten about it, but it was essentially that Saquon Barkley would win more Super Bowls than the quarterbacks drafted in the first round that year. The quarterbacks drafted in the first round that year: Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, and Lamar Jackson. Now, of course, none of those quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl, and currently, Sean would be rooting for Saquon to win a Super Bowl, and the bet is for a decent amount of money. So. Needless to say,
which side did Sean take?
Well, Sean took the quarterbacks because Saquon was on the Giants at the time, but now Saquon's on the Eagles, and it would be a pretty funny way
hedging?
to.
Is this hedging? This is hedging by Sean.
I'll have to go back and find the tape, but I'm pretty sure this was like a large sum of money we wagered in some sort of ridiculous on-air bet that I'm definitely going to remind him of if the time comes. I don't know. Eagles are good. Do you think the Eagles Lions on a if the Lions are hosting, it's so hard for me to see the Eagles getting over the hump here, but they do. As Sean says, Jalen Hurts just wins games.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Saquon Barkley can run the football against anybody. And if Saquon Barkley can go on a 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10, and still pop off a 15-yard run, like at ease, some of the runs just over the course of the season, but especially tonight, he wasn't trying. It was like you're watching a Pop Warner League, and one kid is like clearly better than everybody else. And he just runs through everybody. He's like 2 times their size and stiff arming guys down. Like he just easily ran through holes and went and popped off 50-yard runs.
Yeah, we've watched him look good before, and then he gets hurt and can't play through injury, and we'll see. He's peak right now. This is peak Barkley, healthy and everything.
This is week 12. He's pretty.
No, I know. I'm just saying he's always looked good when he was healthy and things were going good. His problem, he was a front runner. When things were bad, things usually spiraled out of control quickly. And people don't like to hear this, but he never played through injury. He's relatively soft when it comes to that stuff. And he listens to all the criticism about him. That's why things spiral out of control. All right. People are going to accuse me of being a hater. It's truth. Just go back and look yourself. All right. So let's see.
I'm pro Saquon Barkley.
We might not get Sean, so we'll see. But before we actually let's talk some props. Let's talk some props. We got let's see, we had some player props. I'm sure Terrell brought a nice little Degen parlay. We got some first touchdown. We'll build an little underdog entry together. I do have Sean's props, like I said, so maybe we'll even let him participate in the underdog entry. And yeah, the Monday night football props are brought to you by Rhythm. And again, if you're not already using Rhythm, you see Sean, it's an easy way to come up with all right, sorry, I'm seeing Sean is now in the back. We'll bring him on here in a second. But yeah, if you're not already using Rhythm, you see the way Sean used it. He pairs it with his gut. It's true symbiotic AI gut handicapping at its best. You build your models, and like Sean tells you, it's not scary. There's no programming. You just get your sliders going. You give your model a name, and let the big brains from the MIT data scientists get you going, and let the AI drive you down the path, picking good props. I will have a prop in about let's see, it's my third prop. So we do have a Rhythm prop coming up. And claim your 7-day free trial today by go into sportsgamblingpodcast.rhythm.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Trell, let's get Sean on. I'm sure he's either sitting in an Uber or he's doing something here. All right. What's up, Sean?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. What's up, Terrell? You guys, first off, I just want to start by saying thank you. Thank you so much. For the New York Giants, the gift you gave us, Saquon Barkley. Are you kidding me? There were chants raining down MVP from SoFi Stadium. Great stadium, by the way. Colby doesn't know what he's talking about. Real football weather out there. My wife was wearing a winter coat, 2 pairs of pants, and a beanie. That is football weather. So I don't know what Colby's talking about.
Tess can thank me later. I did let her know it gets chilly in there. There's a breeze in the lower bowl.
Awesome win by the Eagles, dominating performance. You guys got to be, I'm sure most of the show is dedicated to how awesome the Eagles were. I'm sure you also hit a little bit on, Terrell's got the bag on his hat. Hey, Ryan, maybe Nick Sirianni, Italian American of the Week, Paisan. Great game plan. Pound the rock. Give it to Nick Sirianni, Ryan. You want to. Or Baker or Nick Sirianni. Those are the 2 Italian Americans of the month. Shout out to Bo Nix, dominating performance. I'll leave you guys with this. My big takeaway for the props, it's a Quentin Johnson game. It's my Degen prop. The yardage prop's good, but 2 touchdowns for Quentin Johnson. Ladd McConkey's banged up. And put in Nelson Aguilar in their touchdown, just for old time's sake. But Chargers get the win, get the cover. Go Birds. And one more Eagles chant. EAGLES, Eagles.
Yuck.
All right. Enjoy. Tell your driver we said what's up.
All right.
Disgusting. Horrible. And the fact that he just too good to work, too good to show.
I will never forgive Joe Shane for that. Actually, I will never forgive Joe Shane for the fact that Eagles fans have that over us for the rest of time. I will never forgive him for that. The whole Saquon Barkley debacle.
We're halfway through a season.
I can't know, because you're always going to remember this starts of the season, regardless if he gets hurt. Then they can just blame it on, he gets hurt. Like they're going to always remember this starts of the season, and Joe Shane is the reason of that. Like it's his fault.
Yeah, no, this is a great stretch for Eagles football. Let's hope they can, maybe finish the season with a Super Bowl. It's been a couple years. Probably not. All right, let's talk props. So props, Sean's props, let's get him out of the way. He likes, like you mentioned, Quentin Johnston, the anytime touchdown, which by the way, plus 230, very nice price. I co-signed this. He got to it first, so I wasn't able to get it on my card, but I will be on this as well. He also has the Palmer receiving yards. We know the Ravens are a pass funnel. 35.5 is the number. Mm-hmm. And Isaiah Likely, 26.5. This could just be sentimental. but we have had some good luck. You do want to. I did get a full scouting report for Deckard. You do want to attack the Chargers via the slot. They do like to run likely out of the slot. So 26.5 receiving yards. Terrell, you are the guest. What is your first Monday Night Football prop?
Well, I'll go ahead and tell them. And with the Quentin Johnston play, I had Quentin Johnston for over 48.5 receiving yards. I mean, so this is the Brandon Stevens effect. Brandon Stevens lines up on the left side of the field 97% of the time. Guess who's on that side of the field? Quentin Johnston, 66% of the time. He's going up against a guy that's giving up 57.5 yards per game. He gives up a lot of big plays. And if you want to see guys who have lined up against Brandon Stevens all game, Pickens 8 for 89, Sutton 7 for 122, Tillman 8 for 79 and 2 touchdowns. He was gonna see a healthy dose of Mike Evans, but in Mike Evans' short time, he was able to get 1 for 25 and a touchdown on him.
Yeah, everyone star dots, like everyone is having a day against them. All right, my first one. And actually, I rearranged it. My first one is also a rhythm approved AI model prop, and that's Lamar Jackson. You know, we talked about it earlier. He's having an MVP season, and he's doing it with his arm. You look at the passing yards. You look at the passing touchdowns. He's pretty much sailing over every week except for that Steelers game last week. And as Mike Tomlin says, that's Steelers Ravens. What are you going to do? So in this one, I was debating, do I want to take I was actually debating two angles. Do I want to fade Derrick Henry? Cause I do think this Chargers team is going to go out of their way to bottle that up. And so it's either touchdowns or passing yards. I'd probably play both, but for the sake of choosing the one, or I'm going to play both. I've already locked up the 1.5 passing touchdowns over. The yardage is 230 or 232.5. Also probably good, but I'll lock into the passing touchdowns. You look at what he's done over the last couple of weeks. Throw out that 1 against the Steelers, 4 against the Bengals, 3 against the Broncos, 2 against the Browns, and 5 against the Bucks. Down game against Washington, and then 4 more against the Bengals. So I think you have an opportunity here. Also, like Decker was mentioning, you can really attack this team via the slot, and so I think whether it's Zay Jones. Stay tuned to later. Maybe Deontay Johnson. I think there's some opportunities here. So feel free to double dip, but Lamar Jackson over 1.5 passing touchdowns is my favorite. What's your second one, Terrell?
No, that goes into my second one because I agree with you. I think the passing yards is the play. I think that they are going to do everything they can to stop Derrick Henry. And so who's the number one option over there? Zay Flowers. I mean, he loves going to Zay Flowers in games like this where he just kind of loads them up with targets. Over 58.5 receiving yards. Look at a couple of number ones against this Chargers team. I know that they're a really good defense, but if they give up to anything, I mean, the top option is getting all the work, and they can kind of pick their spots and be really good with it. Chase had 7 for 75 and 2 touchdowns. Ridley had 5 for 84 and 2 touchdowns. Tillman 6 for 75 and a touchdown. Or you can go with Jerry Jeudy if you want to say Judy's the guy. 7 for 73 in that game. Olave with Spencer Rattler went 8 for 107. 8 for 107. So I think that there's something to that. The fact that, hey, if you just target your guy is able to be able to get separation, get out in space, and you just deliver a good ball, that you're going to be able to get some yardage on this team. And they're just not going to give up too many of those plays. They'll give it up to one guy. They're not going to give it up to a whole bunch. So I think that we're going to see Zay Flowers have a little bit of a game here.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of a cop out for me, leaning more towards Lamar, wanting to scoop it all, but I have a feeling I'll end up just playing Zay Flowers as well. Decker had me really in on the idea. He was just like, yeah, this is trouble.
The Bengals game was very telling. Like to see the Bengals still be able to move the football on this great defense. It shows that there's some holes there, and Lamar Jackson might be able to exploit it.
Yeah, I do. Well, it's just youth. They have a lot of youth in the defensive backfield. Also, they have Derwin James, who is, I think, in the limited times they played, been an effective spy for Lamar, and they've been able to bottle him up a little bit. So I think it's going to have to be his arm. All right, my second prop. I'm sticking with the quarterbacks. I'm going to Justin Herbert to get over his rushing number. Last week he went for 65. Week before that, 32. He had 49 earlier in the season against the Saints. Ever since they came out of the bye, and it's like you see the clips on the sideline. Harbaugh's telling him he's beast mode, and you see getting some receivers back. I think there's going to be some opportunities for him to move around a little bit, especially with the way that this Ravens team has been playing against the pass. So 17.5 yards is the number. Like I said, 49, 32, and 65 in 3 of his last 4. Minus 120 to get over. Terrell, prop number 2.
Number three for me.
Number 3.
So I'm a fan of the show. Like, that's how this started. I started being a fan of the show. And so I've always wanted to do this. I have to add a pause in front of mine, though. I'm sorry. It's just, contractually, I have to say pause before I do this. But Dicker the kicker.
Oh,
Dicker the kicker. Pause. I mean, this is great. Over 1.5 field goals for a Chargers team that is horrible in the red zone. I think they're like 22nd in the NFL in terms of red zone percentage. And then you have a Ravens defense that is bend, don't break. We're going to give up a whole bunch of passing yards, but we're not going to give up the touchdown at the end. And Dicker, the kicker, who's been money. Absolutely. I had to add a kicker prop to the show.
With the kicker props have been good. Unfortunately, CJ's lock kicker Fairbairn ended up costing them the game today with that horrible man. Some of the kicking misses today were just. We horrible. Saw more kickers grab the side of their helmets, throw their helmet on the Commanders kick just a million of these kicks where it's just like we went from kicking is too easy. Like 2 seasons ago, it's like we have to do something. Kicking is too easy. They were talking about shrinking the goalpost. You remember this, Terrell. And now it's like, well, kicking's not easy anymore. Like, what
are they going to move it back to the 2-yard line?
Well, so in the off season, they changed something about the way that they can prepare the K balls. I haven't seen too much reporting on it. I'll have to dig in. I wonder if there's something related here. Cause man,
hit the X-Files
we literally went from like, why are we even kicking? It's too easy. It's too easy to hit a 50-yarder. Let's move on to now they're missing 18-yarders. It's unreal. I appreciate you bringing a kicking prop with Sean not here. You knew the show was going to be void of kicking props if you didn't bring one.
Always.
My third one, I'm sticking with Justin Herbert. For some reason, over on FanDuel, you can get plus 105 for him to not throw an interception. He's thrown one all year. He's not like he's running the ball more. They're it's a Harbaugh team. He's not. This is a bad pass defense. He's not throwing an interception. This is an unreal price. Justin Herbert, no interception, plus 105.
This is an amazing sweat, by the way.
Oh, no interception.
All the way to the end of the game.
It is. It's more fun to sweat a no interception than an interception for sure. Because
imagine sweating Jordan Love no interception today, Kramer. That would have been the great play for you. That would have been amazing. If you had Winogrist yourself and gone no interception today, you would have been in the Raptors.
By my tally, he threw one definite dropped interception, one caught interception overturned by penalty, and a third probably should have been intercepted. It's unreal, this guy, and yet the team still looks good. So he really is modern day Brett Favre. I'll have to give it to that.
Do we hammer against the Dolphins, or do we give him another week off?
No, I'm gonna do the same thing I did this week, which is play the Packers and play the Jordan. I can't not. This is like the Mike Evans anytime touchdown. I'm gonna play the Jordan Love interception. Now the price is gonna get cheaper again. So yeah of course I'm gonna play it. And easy. Jalen Ramsey's gonna get one. Easy peasy. All right, let's hop over to first touchdown. What do you like?
All right, let's see here. Chargers side, I had tight ends. I kept it simple. So I actually went 3 Chargers. I couldn't get myself behind a lot of the Ravens, and I tried to make a lot of angles, and it just didn't ultimately get there. So matter of fact, I'll just start my one late Raven. It's Lamar, 11-1. But this seems like the game, you said it, that they bottle up Derrick Henry, and it just feels like one of those plays is like, oh, option. Well, Derrick Henry's not going to get it. Lamar just kind of takes it himself. or this defense just kind of locks up in the red zone, locks up all the receivers, and Lamar just kind of sees a lane and takes it himself. So Lamar, only Raven, 11-1. Couldn't really get there on a lot of other prices. But for the Chargers, double tight end, Will Disley, of course. I mean, I have to go back to that well at 14-1. But Fisk, he's out there. And he got a red zone target. There's an opportunity. There's an opportunity there. 40-1 on Fisk. And then I went Justin Herbert, another quarterback, 20-1. And just feeling like the Ravens are not going to let J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards be the guy. They're not going to, just how they're going to bottle up Derrick Henry. And I also very much considered fading those two as well. I feel like both of these two teams are just agreeing we're not going to let the run game dominate. And so Herbert just takes it in himself.
I certainly like the Disley angle. We just cashed a Disley ticket the last couple of weeks. And also if you're shopping around, 19-1 over at FanDuel for Will Disley, so get a bit better price. I took my unit, I split it up 4 ways. I have been catching some heat ever since I started going after or at least acting on the war on leans. I'm getting people coming after me, accusing me of first touchdown leans. I take my unit, put it on the table, chop it up 4 ways, quarter unit on each player.
I think it's hilarious how he stopped explaining it for a while because people understood the bit, and then all the lean police haters came back, and now he has to explain it every single first touchdown.
Well, it's they just like to hear me talk about putting my unit on the table, and I will little teaser. I do have a new target in the war on leans. This person not only participates in leaning, but also liking. Apparently there's a lean and a like along with locks. So stay tuned for at Kramer Centric. We'll have some more fun this week. As we'll be thankful for leans. All right, four. Like I said, 1 unit chopped up 4 ways. First, we go with the away team, Ravens. We're gonna attack the slot, but we're gonna do it with the long shots. Isaiah Likely's 24-1. And Deontay Johnson is 36-1. I heard his name come out of Todd Monken's mouth this week during media availability. So that was enough for me. We haven't seen shit from him. He's apparently a full go. So whatever that means, I don't expect a ton of snaps, but if it was going to be anywhere, it would be around the end zone. And we see this is a dude that just got open with the Panthers, just got open with the Steelers. So definitely like him in the red zone. And on the other side, I went double running back. Both these guys got 2 red zone opportunities last week. Gus Edwards is 24-1, as you know, healthy revenge spot. And J.K. Dobbins also a revenge spot. I'm not playing it. He's the chalk. But super fan, Los Angeles / San Diego Chargers super fan, Justin Decker told me, I don't really know what it is. Maybe it's a Michigan thing, but Hassan Haskins keeps getting goal line carries. He is being offered at 90-1, Terrell. This is an important
for one player.
90-1. He had two red zone opportunities last week, 2 red zone opportunities the week before. He's had 5 in the last 4 weeks. They spread it around. I get it. But one of these running backs is 8-1 on the first touchdown market. Get J.K. Dobbins. 1 is 24-1. Gus Edwards, and 1 is 90-1. So
you know what? This goes into my angle of the Ravens not letting J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards do it. And all right, no more Herbert for me. I'm going with Haskins.
Hassan Haskins has as many red zone opportunities as J.K. Dobbins over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
come on, people. 90-1. 90-1. All right, what do you like for a Degen parlay?
All right. I do like Sean's Quentin Johnston angle. Really, really do. 66% of the time he lines up against Brandon Stevens. Guess who lines up a good 20% of the time as well? We talked about him, Josh Palmer. Sean, so Ryan, what if I told you that I could get Josh Palmer under 2.5 receptions?
Oh, I like this.
To go 60+ yards and a touchdown for 60-1. And then, first of all, what if I told you he did this twice this season already? The only
Okay.
thing is, one game he didn't have a touchdown, one game he did. But he hit under 2.5 receptions and got over 60 yards twice this season already.
All right.
So
I'm in.
60-1. Now, if you believe that primetime games go under, this is a high total, that the defenses might get up a little bit. We might not see as much scoring as we would like. Ryan, if you add the under 50.5 to this, that's 120-1.
All right. That's a nice pizza bet. I
This
like
is
that.
this is I mean, if you take the touchdown off, this is cash twice this season already.
What's that, like a little less than 61?
Yeah.
So chat's asking about Keaton Mitchell. He hasn't really gotten much work. I don't know what to think about that. He's gonna at some point he'll be deployed, but I wonder if it's not gonna be in this game against this defense. All right, and I'll throw a bonus, not quite Degen play, but Justin Decker also likes Quentin Johnston last touchdown. I believe you can get it at 14-1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he just unsolicited. He's like, that sounds. He's like, did you know you can bet on? He goes, did you know you can bet on last touchdown? I go, yeah. He goes, I really like Quentin Johnston last touchdown. I'm like, all right, I'm making mental note of that one.
What's Haskins' last touchdown?
So it's interesting. The last touchdown is generally the dog. If the team is the dog, they're generally the same price, and if the team is the favorite, they're generally slightly cheaper. So actually, if you think about it, the team coming back, potentially there's value there because they're pricing it differently than the favorite. So it's probably about the same though, 90-1.
So I could have seen. I mean, what if the Chargers run away, and we see some backups in play, and Haskins, Michigan Love gets a carry at the end of the game for a touchdown.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting angle, but I think I'm going to tell you what my Degen parlay is, and I think you're going to all of a sudden have a lot of other creative ways to play Hassan Haskins, because Hassan Haskins anytime price is 17-1.
Are you serious?
17-1 to score a touchdown at any point in this game. I'm going to take that, Terrell, and I'm going to tie it to Deontay Johnson anytime touchdown. Two people scoring a touchdown. When I priced this out earlier, it was plus 100.05.
No
way. It's now plus 105.42. So it's 105-1. Hassan Haskins, Deontay Johnson, both to score a touchdown.
For just two things?
Just two things. Just two touchdowns. Thank me later. I'm feeling, if for those who have been around long enough and remember the Kramer FML tour, dates might be going on sale. But the one thing I remember from the Kramer FML tour is my pockets got very thick, because when the Giants suck ass, and the Virginia Tech Hokies suck ass, very much focused on everything else. So this one
I just got it for 125-1.
Oh my God, I got a bad price. All right, that's a good one. All right, you want to build a quick underdog parlay? We'll get out of here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Or sorry, an underdog entry. We're switching over. Let me switch my brain into fantasy projection mode. All right, so Sean would have almost certainly wanted to play Quentin Johnston in some way. Do we play the yards?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, I think that's really good. He's getting Brandon Stevens, and Brandon Stevens is he's the weak spot. Like all this secondary isn't that good, but he is the one that really, really gives up the big plays. You could get this on, honestly, you might give this close to one catch.
All right. So Johnston higher 48.5 receiving yards. I would say for me, if they're offering the no on the Herbert interception, that would be, they are. That would, and it's tiny bit spicy.
Ooh.
Just like I was telling you, this is mispriced. That would be my what do you like? Do you have?
I would love to sweat a no interception. for the
All right.
whole
So
game.
then I'm pushing you into the corner of having to take a Raven.
All right.
You were on Zay Flowers.
Yeah, we could. I think Zay Flowers could have a game,
All right, let's
or
just
we
put-
could do the funniest thing and fade Justin Tucker in some way.
I will say, for most of you who are listening, you're not in the SGPN offices watching football with me and Sean. And like Sean lately, like the things that he, obviously the Eagles, he's been very focused on. He's been betting on the Broncos, very focused on. He's been betting on the Colts a lot, so he's very intense on those games. But when Justin Tucker is kicking, 100% of his focus is on that kick. And if Justin Tucker misses, his legs go up in the air like a school child, and he starts giggling. It's the most unbelievable rivalry I never expected to exist. I mean, I'm down to fade Tucker. I
really like the Deontay Johnson angle.
Oh yeah, there is.
They
have the
like
touchdown only. Should we play it?
I think we should.
Yeah,
I think that because I could 100% see Haskins being the reason why you don't cash the Degen parlay. Like I can 100% see that being it.
So Quinn Johnston higher 48.5 receiving yards. Justin Herbert lower a half interception, and Deontay Johnson higher half rush and receiving touchdowns. It's 26.37x.
The rush is very important. Appreciate
That's
it.
nice. It's nice when you get that bonus. That's a nice play. All right. Good stuff, Terrell. Where can people find you?
You can find me over at Betting Pros as well. New job. Appreciate it. Shout out to the Betting Pros Network. But the NBA Gambling Podcast is rolling along. And I don't want to jinx it. But if you go pay attention to the last few episodes and pay attention to a certain segment at the end, I might be on a little bit of a heater. Might be, maybe. I don't know.
What time are you guys live every day?
You can actually find me up there tomorrow, 11 a.m. 11 a.m. on the East Coast, early on the West Coast. Find me up there tomorrow. I'll be up there tomorrow and Wednesday. So tomorrow and Wednesday, me and Lante hanging out tomorrow, breaking down some NBA Cup games.
What are you guys firing? 5 days a week?
Yep, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Check out the Propcast as well. Propcast goes off at 12 too. You can get some good props over there. So Moonoff tried to hijack one of our shows, by the way, from the comment section, and you have to go back and watch. Scott really shut him down. Like Moonoff went in and dropped a prop and said, "Hey, I think you guys should play Jalen Johnson over on points." And Scott's like, "Hey, look, Moonoff saying we should play Jalen Johnson. Well, you should give that on your show. This is our time."
I like this. I like new Scott, especially if you don't follow him. Radio Rochelle on X, an excellent follow.
He gives those gambling those gambling guys that thinks they're great. He just ethers them every time. Ethers them.
Very strong. Very strong.
By the way, people don't know he's great at Price is Right. Amazing.
He is the couple times I've seen him do the Price is Right commentary. Again on the at Rochelle Radio or Radio Rochelle. Just check it out. It's very good stuff. Very highbrow content on the internet. All right, Terrell, good stuff. Maybe in 6 months, we'll be hanging out on a live stream.
Yeah.
Getting excited about Shedeur Sanders. Is that the next? Is that the
I don't
next
know.
moment?
They tried to tell me Cam Ward.
Is it Ward or Sanders?
I couldn't tell you.
Ward's a dog.
I would like to think it's Ward. I just feel like Sanders is going to pull an Eli. If we draft him, he's going to be like, yeah, I'm not going there, guys.
I mean, at this point, bring Dion too. Bring the circus to the Meadowlands. It can't possibly get worse. All right, Terrell, good shit. Thanks for joining. Appreciate Sean for not being here. Didn't have to listen to him about Saquon or the Giants. We can just move on. And we should point out before I go, schedule for Thanksgiving week. Basically, we're recording all the episodes in the next day and a half. So I think we're doing a college basketball episode with Colby tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific. we'll maybe going to do a props episode for Thanksgiving games with Man in the Box, CJ Sullivan in the afternoon, college football after Monday Night Football, and then NFL pick show at a special time very early in the week, 7 a.m. on the West Coast, 10 a.m. on the East Coast on Tuesday. So again, all the episodes will be out by Tuesday afternoon, and then I'll be off the grid, completely disconnected.
Oh man,
not watching the Giants Cowboys on Thanksgiving. I'll be staring at the Milky Way from the Mojave Desert. Beautiful out there. And yeah, Terrell, you have.
I'll just send you a courtesy text of when Drew Lock gets in the game.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're listening, no one tell me what happens during the games on Thanksgiving. I'm not going to turn my phone on until I get back on the grid and watch the Giants Cowboys game, and then I'm going to watch the Virginia Tech UVA game. So it will be pain. Maybe I'll do it at the same time to make it happen faster. But no spoilers, guys. Don't ruin my sacred holiday for me. Anyway, check out the NBA Gambling Podcast. Check out Terrell at ReallyRel, __ on X. I'm at Kramer Centric on X. Again, the war on leans has a new chapter this week, something we're thankful for. So check that out. And for Sean Stacking the Money Green, it was too good to be here. I'm Ryan Real Money Kramer. Let it ride.